Welcome to Heavy Metal Monday.
Hey, it's Mike Capriglione coming to you back here live from Varsity House Gym. Welcome back to another edition of Heavy Metal Monday. Today I'm going to bring you the log press. We're going to talk about how we utilize the log press with our athletes and how we throw it in on our Jailhouse Friday. And you've seen some log pressing with Coach Dan on his Jailhouse Friday show. And today I just want to take a little bit more of time to break down the movement and how you really execute it correctly. So we're going to talk about the log press and a couple different variations and how we do it here at Varsity House Gym. And make sure you stay tuned at the end of the show for my heavy metal song of the week. Let's do it. Okay guys, so that's a little in-depth video coverage there of the log press. We hit a bunch of different angles. I showed you from all different positions on how to actually clean the log, and three press variations that we've talked about a lot before that we usually do with the log. The keynote thing to understand about the log press is what everyone who is fairly new to cleaning and pressing a log is that they try to treat the log as like it's like a regular barbell clean and press. You cannot, okay? You cannot treat it like a regular barbell clean and press. As you will see in the video and the different angles that we took, I approach the log. I'm always against the log, shins are against the log, and I'm in kind of a hybrid position. I'm like a half row and a half a deadlift position, like that barbell row position when I get myself started off. My back is flat, I got my hips back, and my shoulders are in advance of the log, okay? I'm not leaning back, I'm on top of the log. Once I pull it up and I pull it into my sternum, I pull it over my stomach. Now, if you have a belt on, you try to pull it over your belt. And you can see I was in the lat position. When I sat down with it, with the log, I sat down. That's called the lat position. I'm sitting with it, it's in my lap, and it's over my stomach, okay? Now, when you're in that position, it's very important to have what you saw is my elbows flailed out, okay? Do not have the elbows tucked in. You'll see that a lot when you have your athletes first approach the log and they try to clean it. They'll keep their elbows in a lot. You don't want that. You want the elbows out so that you can get a full rotation all the way up to the neck and under the chin. And on that, you'll be able to get your elbows and scoop your elbows up and through a lot more. You want a big rotation with the log to help it get as deep as it can in that top rack position. So when I'm in that lat position, my elbows are flailed out and my knuckles are facing down towards the ground. So we took a lot of shots there. So you should be able to see that pretty clearly, that my elbows are out, I'm in the lat position, and my knuckles are facing down, so that when I rotate, I can get all that rotation all the way up and I can get as high as I possibly can. Now, as I extended my hips and as I popped my hips through the range of motion, I kept the log against my body and I let the log roll up the body. This is where you start to see a lot of your athletes or new people to the log. This is where they'll stand tall and then try hang cleaning the log. That does not work. That will never work. So you have to keep the log as close as you can to the body and almost roll it up the body. You can kind of see my head was kind of tucked down, and I'm keeping it pinned, and as I'm keeping it pinned, I'm rolling it up the body. Then I'm getting that full rotation. Once I get it into the rack position, up top, I'm getting it as high as I can on my neck and under my chin to where I'm almost looking at the ceiling, okay? That's because I don't want the log to dip down when I press, okay? So when I dip down for my overhead press, I don't want the log to slide down. I want to keep it as high as I can. So I get that full rotation, I get it almost locked and engaged. It's on my neck and on my chin, and I'm looking up at the ceiling, and I got a high rack position with my elbows. My elbows are up and in, and I'm pushing the log back. Okay. From there, I showed you a couple different press variations. These are press variations we've talked a lot about. The three that we utilize here most at Varsity House Gym is the strict press. You saw that. That was no leg drive. Okay, we just got straight through, all shoulder power, and get the log aligned with the top of our head, with our head coming through. The push press, which was a dip and drive, one continuous motion, and then the double knee bend of the push jerk. So, and then when I bring it back down, I just bring it back down to my shoulders, roll it back down to the log, and put it back down either on the boxes or on the ground or whatever I'm using to keep the log stabilized. So the log cleaner press is very important, okay, to make sure you teach it correctly and have someone who has experience with it to teach it, all right? If you don't have a lot of experience in log press and log cleaning and pressing, don't teach the log cleaning press, okay? It's a high quality movement that takes a lot of teaching, okay? So make sure you understand it correctly before you try to translate it over to your athletes. We do this a lot here at Varsity House Gym. Most of the time, like I said earlier in the show, that Coach Dan on Jailhouse Fridays here, we use a lot with our athletes, especially during our summer program. We're outside doing it. And we do it a lot where it could be for max effort, where week one, we could do set to 5 on it, clean and press. The week after that, we'll do set to 3, working to go up a little bit heavier in weight. Or, then we can max out the week later. But it's all relative. We don't try to have anyone fail out on that. It's a dangerous implement, so you got to be smart with it, and most of the time your athletes are not going to have a lot of experience with it. So I think it translates over great to football, to contact sports, from the hip flexion to extension. It really kind of works that power, and it's a good way to kind of have a variation from regular barbell clean, and we also use axle clean and stuff like that. But that, we'll talk about that in a later show. So sets like that, we superset it. We could do a log into a row. You saw earlier, I'm not going to go too crazy about that, but you saw kind of on Coach Dan's Jailhouse Friday how he utilized the log and then went right into something else. Okay, so we do it a lot. Could be used as conditioning, could be time sets, every minute on the minute kind of deal. So you can have a lot of fun with it. Just make sure you're teaching it right. Make sure you're picking the correct weights for your athletes, know your athletes, and choose the correct weights there. Okay, so I hope you enjoy that exercise. Get that, utilize that a lot in your gym. It's a great variation to have. Now it's on for my heavy metal song of the week. Okay guys, it's on to my heavy metal song of the week. And for this week, I'm gonna change it up a little bit, all right? We're gonna go towards a little bit more of a early 90s, mid to late 90s sort of band here. They're a little bit on the grungier side. If you like bands like Down, even like Pantera, that kind of like staticky guitar type playing, and but they still are a little considered like grungy from that kind of era of the Pearl Jam, Nirvana era, but they're a little bit harder than those bands. And that band is Corrosion of Conformity. I've been listening to these guys for, you may know them as COC, but I listened to these guys for a pretty long time. I started listening to them when I was just getting into high school, and I got a funny story about the song we're gonna do. The song we're gonna do is called Clean My Wounds. Great album. That song is from a great album. Albatross on that album is great. A couple other great songs on that album. And the funny story about the song Clean My Wounds is senior year of high school, we had to do like a montage of pictures from a story of our life in a sense. So we had to take a big giant group collage of pictures that we've had, and we had to choose a song to do, and my song was Clean My Wounds. So it was kind of cool, and I had all my pictures out, and everyone kind of stuck with some boring other songs everyone else chose, but I tried to choose a badass song, and that was Clean My Wounds. And I've been listening to these guys for a really long time, and I play them a lot during my Heavy Metal Wednesdays. Rick Stewart's a big fan of that, so I mean, So Rick, I hope you're watching. This is out to you, man. I know you like Corrosion and Conformity. You're like the only one that I know that even knows them. So I'm pretty happy to say your name here in this show and give you a little shout out because I know you really enjoy them. So check that out. Check that whole album out. Clean My Wounds, great song. Corrosion and Conformity's been around for a long time. Great band. Check them out. Hope you enjoyed my log clean and press today. Okay, and we're gonna get back next week. We're gonna get back to my third day of that strongman training template that I do outside of strongman, and that third day is going to be that recovery day that I do, a blood flow type day. So we're going to get back to that next Monday. Hope you guys enjoy the show. If you saw what you saw today, make sure you leave me a comment or hit the like button. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And check us out here at varsityhousegym.com, and I'll see you guys all next week. And until then, stay heavy.